Swadika, good morning and welcome to Newsline. Thank you very much for joining us on this wonderful Thursday morning. It's the end of July, or 30th of July, that is 2015. I'm Chalapansa Narula and here is the news. In today's Thailand Moves Forward, Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha stressed that civil servants must perform their work to the best of their ability for the benefit of the country. The comment was made before his meeting with high-ranking officials of the Ministry of Industry yesterday at the agency's headquarters on Rama 4 Road. He told the attendees not to be overly concerned with the future and focus on the task at hand. During the meeting, the ministry requested support for bioplastic products, a relatively new industry in Thailand. Bioplastics are derived from renewable biomass sources such as vegetable fats and oils, cornstarch, pea starch, and microbiota. The ministry also asked the government to assist the development of a standalone steel industry in the kingdom. According to the ministry, a domestic steel industry would cut costs by reducing the country's reliance on steel imports. The ministry also proposed collaborations with other government units to develop eco-industrial zones and increase productivity. In addition, the ministry has planned several activities promoting the small and medium enterprise sector at the end of the year. And the Prime Minister has stressed that Thailand must now try to head towards the green industry. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha stated that Thailand can no longer treat the agricultural sector as the only engine that will drive the economy forward, after several factors have proven so. He cited an example of the drought crisis, which has badly affected farmers, a major group of spenders who have had to borrow more, while the country's consumption has been sluggish. General Prayut added that such circumstances have also led to a surge in Thailand's household debt, which is as high as 300 billion baht. Therefore, he is confident that striving towards the concept of green industry could be a means to help revive the situation and boost employment at the grassroots level. Deputy Prime Minister Wisanu Kurangam has suggested that Thai people should be aware of the correct and proper use of Thai language during the 2015 National Thai Language Day event. The Deputy Prime Minister presided over a ceremony to grant awards to people who had used the Thai language exceptionally well at the National Cultural Centre in Bangkok. He said many Thai people today unnecessarily used foreign words when speaking and writing Thai and made up new words, especially in social media. He then suggested everyone speak and write grammatically correct Thai and help set an example for the proper use of the language. Apart from the award presentation ceremony, the National Thai Language Day event this year featured traditional music and performance competitions in honor of Her Royal Highness Princess Mahachakri Sirinthorn. The National Reform Council has approved the report presented by the committee in charge of the reform of consumer protection. Meanwhile, the Constitutional Drafting Committee, or the CDC, completed review of drafted suspending clauses. The National Reform Council meeting on Wednesday resolved to approve the report, which covers 5 main points drafted by Consumer Protection Committee. The discussion also looked at the suggestions made by NRC members, which will later be submitted to the Cabinet to consider. At the meeting, the NRC members deliberated that issues of consumers who have been affected by problematic public health services and suggested that there should be more efforts to improve relations between service providers and patients. Concerning consumers' complaints against the National Broadcasting and Telecommunications Commission, the Reform Councillors agreed that nothing can really be done right now, while noting that the issue does not reflect the need for a reform. It also stressed that the protection of consumers means the offering of knowledge to the public in order that they will be able to protect themselves, while all important information must be accessible with ease. Meanwhile, the Constitutional Drafting Committee has completed its review of suspending clauses, while the Prime Minister will be the one to make a final decision on the term of the Council in charge of national reform implementation. The CDC meeting on Wednesday completed the review of 285 articles of the draft charter. The meeting resolved to allow the current cabinet to remain in office until the new administration takes office, while agreeing to let all independent organizations to complete their terms. In addition, it decided to make the National Legislative Assembly to perform the duties of the House of Representatives and the Senate until the first meeting of the new parliament takes place. For the CDC, it will continue the drafting of the organic laws until completion and present them to the NLA to debate until the new House of Representatives is formed. The CDC has not decided on the term of the Council tasked with the implementation of the national reform process, which is set up by the amended interim charter, as it views that such a decision remains within the power of the Prime Minister. Minister of Commerce General Chatchai Sarikanya has convened a special meeting with Thai ambassadors and commercial attaches in major African countries to discuss ways to expand trade opportunities. Talks were held in Pretoria, South Africa, between General Chatchai, the Thai ambassador to South Africa, and commercial attaches in Egypt, Nigeria, and Kenya. The Commerce Minister urged them to build confidence in Thailand's political situation among African businessmen by stressing the government's intention to complete the reform roadmap to sustainable democracy and strengthen international trade relations. The Commerce Minister also instructed the commercial attaches to analyze market trends in African countries to see which products or businesses can succeed in African markets. The Commerce Minister has led a team of Thai business operators to launch a trade roadshow and explore business opportunities in South Africa between July 25th and 30th. Exports to Africa during the first half of the year were valued at $3 billion, representing a 15% fall. Main products, including rice and vehicles, faced a sales drop due to a decline in purchasing power among importers. However, exports in the second half of the year are likely to pick up, thanks to a series of government trade promotions. Japanese businessmen in Thailand said they believe the Thai economy would improve in the latter half of this year due to the government's economic stimulus and acceleration of budget disbursement by government units. Japan External Trade Organization, or JETRO, President and Chief Representative for ASEAN and Southeast Asia, Masayasu Hosumi, has revealed in a recent interview that the overall performance of Japanese businesses was not doing well during the first 6 months of this year. Mr. Hosumi added that the performance declined by 4% when compared to the second half of last year due to declining spending of the Thai public. However, he believed that the situation would pick up later this year. He expected a business growth of as much as 20% as a result of higher confidence in the Thai government's stimulus measures. Car exports are also expected to do better in the second half after an export figure for June showed a negative growth as old models were being replaced. JETRO is urging the Thai government to quickly implement economic stimulus measures, improve basic infrastructure in Bangkok and its vicinity, and remove certain restrictions to allow migrants to start business as well as maintain the Thai currency's stability. The director of the Economic and Business Forecasting Center of the University of Thai Chamber of Commerce has told the public not to overly worry about the U.S. decision to keep Thailand's human trafficking situation on its Tier 3 list, saying that the ranking would have a short-term impact on the country's economy. Dr. Thanawat Phonvichai, director of UTCC's Economic and Business Forecasting Center, said that the country indeed has made tremendous efforts to tackle human trafficking during the past several months, as seen from the anti-illegal fishing campaign, the busting of a high-profile human trade ring in the south, and the setting up of foreign workers' management offices. Dr. Thanawat commented that the U.S. should have noticed these improvements. His remarks came after the U.S. Department of State decided to keep Thailand at Tier 3 ranking in the U.S. Trafficking in Persons report. According to TIP, or TIP, Tier 3 refers to countries whose governments are not making significant efforts to comply with the Trafficking Victims Protection Act's minimum standards. To minimize the impact of this report, Dr. Thanawat suggested that the related sectors intensify trade promotion campaigns and marketing strategies, while the government is addressing the problems. He added, successful trade schemes will help protect the country's exports from U.S. criticism. And that's it for Thailand Moves Forward. We'll now have a look at the exchange rates and commodity prices. After that, Newsline will be back with international news. Don't go away.
To maintain a strong nation, Thailand is promoting 12 core values for the good of the people. The fifth core value: maintaining preservation of Thai traditions and cultures.
Even if we don't see them, they are amongst us. And they're hungry. Slay your power-sucking monsters. Take their power away. Think when you plug.
This is Thailand at large.
The show which is about to take you to the new experiences with the exciting stories.
With charming fascination. With a touch of Thainess.
Join us on NBT World.
Explore with us and you'll know and love Thailand even more than before.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsline. Thailand hosted the 8th Thailand-Myanmar Joint Cooperation for Bilateral Cooperation in Chiang Mai Province from July 27 till 28, 2015. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs General Thanasak Patimapakon and his Myanmar counterpart Wana Muangluin led the meeting. During the opening of the meeting, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs General Thanasak Patimapakon expressed Thailand's determination to strengthen bilateral ties with Myanmar in all areas. Later, the two parties reviewed their ongoing cooperative activities and brainstormed the development of bilateral cooperation based on the grounds of mutual benefits. The two parties also commended a Myanmar visit of Her Royal Highness Princess Mahachakri Sirinthorn in October 2015. The Myanmar side expressed readiness to welcome Her Royal Highness, saying her visit was crucial to the development of the Thai-Myanmar ties. In terms of economy, Thailand and Myanmar discussed guidelines to promote mutual trade and investment with a goal to increase their combined trade value to 10 to 12 billion US dollars by 2017. They also discussed transport connection to facilitate trade, investment and tourism. As for financial and banking cooperation, Myanmar approved direct currency exchanges between the Myanmar kyat and Thai baht. In May 2015, Myanmar granted a license to Bangkok Bank to open a branch in Yangon. Myanmar said it was willing to renew the right to fish for Thai fishery entrepreneurs who had been legally registered. The two parties pledged their cooperation on sustainable fishery management and emphasized the importance of the Dawai Special Economic Zone. After the meeting, the two ministers signed an agreement for visa-free visits to be effective on 11 August 2015. On July 29, they are scheduled to jointly preside over the opening ceremony of the Myanmar Consulate General in Chiang Mai Province. The next Thailand-Myanmar joint cooperation for bilateral cooperation will take place in Myanmar in 2016. The Sheikhul Islam Office, Ramkhamhaeng University and Islamic-related networks yesterday held a seminar on teaching His Majesty the King's philosophy of sufficiency economy among minority Islamic groups in Thailand and other ASEAN member nations. According to Sheikhul Islam of Thailand, Asis Pitak Kumpon, the revered philosophy would reduce the number of violent incidents in the Deep South. He said that Islamic lifestyles may be foreign to the larger community as Islam is a minority religion in Thailand. He said that people must be well informed of Islamic beliefs in order to create a peaceful atmosphere for all. Meanwhile, Ramkhamhaeng University Rector Wuttisak Laptaran Sap echoed the spiritual leader's opinion, saying the seminar paves the way for all to coexist in the multi-faith ASEAN community. The Faculty of Medicine, Ramathipati Hospital and Israel's Hadassah Medical Organization have signed an agreement for academic cooperation on elderly diseases. The signing ceremony was attended by Deputy Foreign Minister Don Paramat Vinay, Thai Ambassador in Tel Aviv Angsana Sihapitak, and Israeli Ambassador to Thailand Simon Rodet. Both nations have been exchanging medical knowledge since 2013. The Thai Embassy in Tel Aviv, who initiated the cooperation, has invited medical personnel from the Hadassah Medical Organization to discuss and share their views on the subject at Ramathipati Hospital today and tomorrow. They will also observe medical services for the elderly and meet with hospital executives the following day. In other news, Russia vetoed a United Nations Security Council draft resolution on Wednesday that would have set up an international tribunal to prosecute those suspected of downing a Malaysian Airlines passenger airliner last year in eastern Ukraine. 11 countries on the 15-member council voted in favor of the proposal by Malaysia, Australia, the Netherlands, Belgium and Ukraine, while 3 countries abstained: China, Angola and Venezuela. A resolution needs 9 votes in favor to pass and no veto by Russia, the United States, China, Britain or France. Flight MH17 was shot down in July 2014 with 298 passengers on board. 2/3 of them were Dutch. It crashed in the Ukrainian territory held by Russian-backed separatists. Malaysia's Transport Minister Leo Tiang Lai told the Council after the vote that it sent a dangerous message of impunity to the perpetrator of this heinous crime. Ukraine and Western countries accused the rebels in eastern Ukraine of shooting down the plane with a Russian-made missile. But Moscow has rejected accusations it supplied the rebels with SA-11 Buk anti-aircraft missile systems. Debris that is probably from a plane has washed up on Reunion Island off the east coast of Africa, but it is premature to suggest that it might be from the missing Malaysia Airlines flight MH370, believed to have crashed in the Indian Ocean, according to police officers. No trace has been found of the Boeing 777, which disappeared in March last year, carrying 239 passengers and crew from Kuala Lumpur bound for Beijing, in what has become one of the greatest mysteries in aviation history. Most of the passengers were Chinese. Search efforts led by Australia focused on a broad expanse of the southern Indian Ocean. Neither the French Civil Aviation Authority, the GAC, nor the BEA, the agency responsible for investigating aviation accidents, were immediately available for comments. Mullah Omar, the leader of the militant Taliban movement behind an escalating insurgency, has not been seen in public since fleeing when the Taliban was toppled from power by a US-led coalition in 2001. On Wednesday, a spokesman for Afghan President Ashraf Ghani confirmed the government was investigating reports that Omar had died. A senior Afghan Taliban commander based in neighboring Pakistan had previously said Omar had died of natural causes, although he did not specify when. On the U.S. National Counterterrorism Center's NCTC website, a still photograph of Omar sat next to a description of a shrapnel wound to the right eye. The NCTC website also detailed a reward of up to $10 million and on Wednesday described Omar as at large and representing a continuing threat to the United States and its allies. The Afghan government's comments came as preparations were underway for the next round of peace talks between Kabul and the Taliban. Police in Minnesota are investigating reports of a threat against the dentist who killed Zimbabwe's most famous lion, sparking global outrage over trophy hunting on Wednesday. Demonstrators taped signs reading "Rot in Hell" and "You Have No Soul" to the outside door of the suburban Minneapolis office of Walter Palmer, 55, an avid big game hunter. Palmer said in a statement he regrets killing the huge cat known as Cecile on July 1st. He said he had hired professional local guides who secured hunting permits and believed the hunt was legal. As of Tuesday, July 28, Palmer had temporarily closed his office, River Bluff Dental, in Bloomington, Minnesota, amid wishes for his death and widespread criticism of his hunting on social media and under business reviews on Google and Yelp. Cecile, a distinctive black maned lion, was lured out of Wange National Park using a bait and was wounded with a bow and arrow and not shot dead until 40 hours later. Groups of migrants desperate to enter Britain from France stormed the Channel Tunnel on Wednesday. As evening fell, migrants broke through holes in fences as security guards attempted to keep them off the tracks and police held them back in the street. Freight and passenger traffic through the rail tunnel has been severely disrupted as migrants camping out in shanty towns in the Calais area have repeatedly tried to board trucks and trains traveling from France to Britain. There were about 1,500 attempts by migrants to enter the tunnel on Tuesday. That's on Tuesday night, according to a Eurotunnel spokesperson, after 2,000 attempts the previous night. Some were likely repeat attempts by the same people. And that's it for the Global News Update and also the end of the edition of Newsline for this morning. If you do have any suggestions or comments, please write to us. It's newsline.nbt@gmail.com. That's the channel that you can contact us. Also, we have our Facebook fan page. You can type in NNT and have a look at what's going on. And the website for you to check the news is thainews.prd.go.th/ENG. And today we say goodbye with pictures of candle procession and elephant ride arms giving in Surin province to mark the start of the 3-month-long Buddhist Lent. I'm Chulapansana Rula. We'll see you tomorrow right here at Newsline. Sawasdee ka.